From the Hawaii News Now Digital Center, we're getting a chance to talk with fashion designer Kaʻanoʻi Akaka. Aloha.
Aloha, Billy.
Before we
Mahalo
get
for
into
having me.
thank you very much. I wanted to thank you for the wonderful lei.
Woohoo.
Where is this from?
That's from my yard in Kaimuki. Yeah. They grow really, really big.
This smells
real bambucha. But these are
wonderful.
kind of the medium-sized ones. But yeah, right from my yard. Doesn't get any better than that.
Thank you, thank you.
Mahalo.
How was your family?
My family's great. Yeah. They're all doing well.
Let me see. There's mom, dad. There's your brother, right?
Yeah, I have two brothers, actually.
Two brothers. And your other brother is?
Ilya, my younger brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is he doing right now?
He does music like Hale does. So
Okay.
yeah, he does music. He's in Hawaiian education as well, and so yeah.
Halihaku, of course.
Halehaku.
Nue and
Nahoa and a bunch of other things. Yeah, he loves music. Music is in his blood, in our blood, and that's what he does.
mama.
Yeah, my mom, she's Ku'ulei from Kaʻanoʻi, born and raised in Kaʻanoʻi. So we were all born and raised in Kaʻanoʻi as well. In my mom's, on my mom's side, my great-grandparents, they built this kulana kauhale, a little village. We had about 7 homes where we grew up. And when my dad married my mom, actually when they first met and, started going out and whatnot, then he moved to Kaʻanoʻi from Ewa, Waipahu side. So now he's Kaʻanoʻi boy too.
Right?
Yeah.
And talking about dad, your dad and I actually worked together
Yeah,
at the
many
old
years ago.
1420 AM. And what your dad and what everybody with Kaleo Hawaii was doing, for those of you that don't know, it was Olelo Hawaii program. And it really set the stage for Punana Leo and everything that they were doing.
Really, it really did. Yeah, Larry Kimura started Kaleo Hawaii back in the 70s, and then it continued with my father, Puakea Nogomeyer, as well, and Anakelola and Nicholas. And they spoke with Kupuna, and those recordings are gems to us, to say the very least.
They are truly Hawaiian radio gems.
They really are, yes.
recordings of our kupuna, and it's wonderful. So please tell your dad I said hello.
I will. Mahalo. Mahalo.
When did you start to get into fashion?
You know what? It started at a very young age. I think I was about 10 years old when I knew that I loved fashion.
Really?
Yeah, really, that young. I just knew. About 10 or 11 years old. I used to, when I was in middle school, I was obsessed with surf brands. Like, that was a thing, right? You had to have surf brands, and if you wore the surf brands, you were really cool.
Name some of the surf brands.
Roxy, Billabong, Hurley. So I remember going on the websites, because yes, I'm that young. There was internet.
Okay.
No, just kidding. But I would go on their websites, and I would print all these pictures of the outfits that I loved. And I would compile them in composition books, and I would just thumb through them, and I would obsess over outfits. It sounds strange, but I would just look at these different outfits, and then I started sketching. I'm not a very good drawer, but I would sketch. And then I remember making my very first garment. I say garment because it was denim shorts that I took, in old denim shirts, and I wanted to make a bikini top out of it. So I cut the pieces, the triangles for the bikini top, somehow made the strings, and then I stapled the pieces together.
Well,
Thinking, you kind of see the staples. I should be fine.
But denim is not usually something
No,
that you
it's
would
definitely not. So needless to say, I couldn't go swimming in that top. But that was the first thing I made. So that's kind of where it started. I was about 10 years old. And then my mom, God bless my mom, parents, because you're a parent yourself.
Right.
She fostered that because she saw, okay, she has this passion. Maybe she needs more skills in this. So she sent me to sewing school one summer. I think I was about 11. And my cousin and I, we went to sewing school for a few months.
How was that?
And it was great. I loved it. I still have the clothing that I made back then. We learned basic skills. And then my mom taught me some basic skills in sewing at home, too. So that's where it started for me. I loved it for that many years from that time.
So you started liking surf things. Did it progress to something else? After?
Yeah, of course, aloha wear. Obviously, we're influenced by beautiful colors and prints and things that we see growing up here in Hawaii. So yeah, I started to like aloha wear a little bit more. So I started to sew through middle school, high school, not too much. I did projects here and there, but then I did more aloha wear. And then it wasn't until college that I really picked it up again.
Okay, so you're doing this in high school. Did you suddenly have classmates wanting you to make them lole for them?
You know what? I think it was kind of a secret back then. I didn't really tell folks that I would sew my own clothes.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't really telling folks. So it wasn't until maybe college.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to UH Manoa.
Okay.
I went for Hawaiian Studies. And I ended up majoring in that and graduating with my degree in Hawaiian Studies. But I did dabble in fashion design in the classes that they offer there at UH Manoa too.
Okay, so you must have been stoked to take those classes too.
Yeah, because I did consider, maybe I should get a concurrent degree in fashion design and marketing, merchandising that they have there at Manoa. But I didn't end up finishing in that. I just got my degree in Hawaiian Studies. But I did take a bunch of classes and hone my skills in some of the things that they offered there. And so I started sewing for some friends, more specifically groups. Like I had kumu hula friends or hula teacher friends who would teach at schools. And so they'd ask me, can you sew for my group, my students? And I'd be like, yeah. And so then I started doing more custom work, both group and individual work. And it's just grown since.
So you did all of that work yourself, or did you bring
I did.
other people in?
No, all me with my very 2 hands from Keakua, all me. Sounds crazy, I know.
That's
but
a lot of work. Then you're staying up late at night.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Let me go back a little bit, back to school. How much did knowing your parents, how much did Olelo Hawaii play in you growing up?
A massive part. Yeah, my parents growing up in Mea Hawaii, or raising us in Mea Hawaii, Ike Hawaii, Olelo Hawaii. They sent all of us to Kula Kaiapuni, so we went through the Kaiapuni system. So it's a part of us, my siblings and I, we went to Ke Kula Kaiapuni o Waiau and Ke Kula Kaiapuni o Anuenue. And although we graduated from private schools, it's a part of us, and we continue to practice it all the time. And so, naturally, that kind of started to imbue into the clothing that I produce. That's always been my goal, is to mesh the two, to find the beautiful way of combining fashion design, something that's really maybe more Western, contemporary styles and things with traditional knowledge. And that's what I continue to do with Keha today.
So let's get into the fashion part of it. First of all, what does Keha mean?
Oh, that's a great question. Keha is actually a part of my first middle name. So my first middle name is Kaʻanoʻi Keha Ikulo Ihia. And I took Keha from that. And if you were to look it up in the dictionary, you'll see dignity, pride, lofty, prominent, majestic, those types of words. So you might think, that's kind of high makamaka. Like, why would you select that name? But no, that's not at all the intention, right? So one, it's to honor my inoa and that my parents gave me. But it's also kind of a reminder for me to remember the things that I literally place up high. The things that I honor and respect. Keakua, kupuna who have come before me, who have, laid the path for us to do so many things, places that I honor and find really special in my heart. And so that kind of reminds me to strive, to kulia I kanu'u, to always strive to be better than I was the day before. Perfection can never be achieved, I don't think, but growth can always be had, and there's always things to learn. So that's the idea behind Keha. And I hope folks who hear that mo'olelo can relate to it too. Always find and remember and honor the people, places, things that have given them life and that have guided them and allowed them to be where they are too.
So now, culturally speaking, you've added that thought into what you're making.
Yeah, absolutely. Keha's all about meshing mo'olelo, honoring the aina that we live on, the people, the places, the plants, the things that Keakua has blessed us with here, and incorporating that with contemporary styles that also has inspiration from classic silhouettes and looks. So I try to combine classic and contemporary, but also using mo'olelo names and things so that they're not just clothing, but they're educational pieces. People can learn mo'olelo from the clothing that they wear because there's always either a tag or a note card that comes with their piece that explains the not just the print, but maybe the name of the colorway that they selected, the style that they selected, their names that I select for these things that I try to put forth mo'olelo through. So that's always the goal, to again, push forward and put forward education as well, not just clothing.
Well, since you have a wonderful clothing that you have brought with you.
Sure. This is the Oli Oli pullover T-shirt, so aloha shirt, sorry. And so this is just a simple pullover aloha that, is very classic, and we see with many other brands as well. Oli Oli is actually in honor of my dad, because my dad loves to wear bright aloha shirts just like you. And his name is Hau'oli, so from that I named this particular style the Oli Oli style. But this print is the Honuaola print. This is something I released back in December of last year, 2022. And it just features formations in our aina. You see kuahivi, organic shapes and things that we find around us. You see vana, la, hoaka, moon type shapes. Also makani, kaula, string or cordage used for different things around us. We have pohaku. We have shapes that represent both lepo, dirt, and sand, one, different plants, and just honoring, the beautiful things that surround us and that give us life too. And so this is the Honuaola print in alaula. And alaula is a reference to the sun, the red pathway of the sun. And so obviously a bright colorway would.
Okay, as you are holding that here, I am imagining that you walk around, as you are walking around, do you walk around with pad and pencil?
You'd think so, but I don't sketch as much as I probably should.
Or phone and make mental. Okay.
Yes. My notes app in my phone is loaded with different ideas of styles, designs. Sometimes I'm sketching in there. And I try to remember something when it comes to me, or, when I think of something. So my phone is loaded with ideas.
Have you ever gone to someplace and just kind of sat down and all of a sudden you'll just start seeing things?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All the time. Yeah. And nature, of course.
I was just with the other day with Kawai Kapu.
Oh, beautiful.
And so we were talking about kupuna that would just sit, and of course they were trained from their kupuna to just sit and study nature and just look at all the things around us.
I love that.
Do you find yourself doing that same thing in this context?
I do. And a lot of times, talking about Keha before and things that we place up high and that we honor, a lot of times I'll just sit and stare at the mountains. I grew up in Kaʻanoʻi, so, we grew up at the foot of the Ko'olau.
Perfect. He's from AA.
Any better than that. Exactly. Yeah. And so but now living in Kaimuki, I look up at Palolo and Manoa, and I just enjoy the beauty. And in that, I do find a lot of inspiration.
Is there an end goal in what you are doing, or is it just a continuous creation?
Yeah, I think it's a continuous creation. I mostly sell my things online and at pop-ups, so I do have a goal of opening a storefront one day. But yeah, my continuous goal, I think, is to help people feel good about themselves when they wear Keha, and to help them learn a mo'olelo, or to share a mo'olelo that they already know that's maybe a part of them as well. So it's definitely about uplifting others. And I hope to do that forever.
So, for you, are you living the dream right now?
I'm living part of the dream. I think the dream is continuously growing. So I think I'm still in the infancy stage, really, of the dream. So that's a good question. Yeah. I think the dream will be continue to unfurl.
Okay. That almost sounds like a mo'olelo, as these things continue to unfurl. Quick questions for you. Favorite food?
Poi and lomi o io.
Oh!
Yes.
Favorite place to relax that is not in your hale?
Oh, my Kane and I love to go to Kona. Aren't you from Kona?
Yes.
We love Kona. Kona feels like home, but even though we didn't grow up there, yeah, it feels like home. We have ohana, both he and I, from Kona. So, yeah, I love Kona.
Favorite place to go outside of Hawaii?
Oh, that's a good question. I love to eat, and my mom used to say I'm Korean because I love spicy food. And so I went to Korea once, South Korea, and that was really fun. So I wouldn't mind going back there. I love that. Yeah.
Awesome.
And Japan, good food.
Japan, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you dance hula?
I dance hula, yes.
Are you with a halau?
Yeah, my parents have a halau together, my mom and dad. Halau Hi'ilani Vaialoha is the name of our halau. And yeah, so we've been going for about 20 years now.
Wow, very good. Is there anything else that you want people to know about Keha and what you do?
I think I just want to, besides putting forth lole, conventional and your typical aloha wear, to remind folks that clothing can also be fun. Fashion can be fun. Sometimes being cuckoo with your clothing can be fun. It's a fun way to express yourself. And so through Keha, sometimes you might see some cuckoo stuff come out. You might think, oh, that's an interesting style. I've never seen that before. But it's because I like to experiment and see what folks are drawn to. And see if folks will try the newer things that maybe they haven't tried before. So, yeah, I would just want folks to have fun with clothing.
Okay. Kaʻanoʻi Akaka joining us here in the digital studio, using who she is, where she comes from, and the things around her to fuel her passion in lole. Thank you for being here.
Mahalo, Billy. This was so fun.